Hi, and welcome to this tutorial about how to apply Waterslide decals. Today we're going to be working from this lovely sheet from Dip Queens called Colorful Hibiscus. Now before you start, you want to make sure you have all of your tools ready to go and laid out. First, you're going to need a pair of cuticle scissors. Now I highly recommend this curved set, especially if you're going to be applying directly to your natural nail or a set of full cover tips that are already adhered to your nails. A regular set of cuticle scissors will also work. Those are very helpful for cutting out the decal. A jelly stamper and a rub-on silicone applicator tool. This one is from Kiara Sky, but they're also available from Amazon and other nail supply sources. You'll also need a small dish of water, a paper towel, and I don't highlight them here, but I do have a pair of tweezers. The other thing you'll need to make sure is that your nail is pre-prepped with white or very light dip powder that has been fully activated, filed, and buffed. You can use gel products, but today we're going to be working with dip powder and dip liquids. Now you'll go ahead and cut out your decals. You want to make sure that you're cutting as close as possible to the image without compromising the image yourself. Before we get really into the meat of the tutorial, I do want to say a few words. Give yourself some grace when you're applying decals. Decals are notoriously temperamental and wrinkles will happen. You're gonna have some mishaps. I have them every time I apply decals. No application is perfect. So take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. Now that your decals are cut out and ready to go, it's time to apply your odorless dip liquids. Now I specify odorless here because odorless dip liquids have a very slow drying time. If you choose to use regular dip liquids, you're going to have to play around with the timing in relation to when you apply the dip liquids and when you apply the decal. You want the liquid to be about 80% dry when you apply the decal so you have some time to smooth out any wrinkles. If it's too dry, it either won't adhere or it'll dry and you won't be able to smooth out those wrinkles. Now, I know I have plenty of time with these liquids to apply it before I put my decal in the water. So here I put my decal in the water, let it absorb for a couple of seconds, and then you take it out, pat it dry both sides, take your jelly stamper, apply it to the front of the decal, slide the backing off of the decal, ensure that your decal is nice and smooth, and then you're going to line it up with your nail, ensuring that it is lined up with your nail and it's the right facing the right direction. I tend to put them on upside down, so be careful. And then you will apply the decal to the nail in one smooth motion. All right, so you can see right off the bat, I have some wrinkles. And that's okay because I still have a little bit of wiggle room with my dip liquids and I can smooth them out. And you'll see that I actually spend quite a bit of time smoothing those wrinkles, working from the middle of the decal out towards the edge with my fingers. And then I'll move on to the silicone rub-on applicator. And you can see I have a little gap there on the side. That's my mishap, right? And I'll show you how I fix that. So deep breath, cut yourself some slack. Mishaps happen. We can fix it. So the reason why I really like these silicone rub-on applicators is because you can really work the decal without grabbing and tearing the decal. Sometimes even with your fingers, you can catch the decal wrong and tear them. Now, Dip Queen's decals are a little bit thicker than some other decals that tear very easy, so that's very helpful. You can rub a little harder with these ones than you can with some others, so that's very, very helpful. You can see that I really am working out from the center of the nail to the edges to really smooth out all of those all of those wrinkles, really get all of the air out, smooth them out as much as I possibly can. Now, sometimes you're going to have wrinkles that don't smooth out. It's okay. Sometimes you can hide them in the pattern of the decal, or you can get creative and put in some glitter swoops or rhinestones, or you can just have wrinkles. In this next section, I'm going to show you how I patch my little area of white there, my little mishap. And what I do is I kind of look at the color of the pattern and I trimmed a little excess decal. Then I'm taking some dip liquid and applying it there, letting it get a little tacky. And I just am looking at that little excess decal and picking the color that I think will work best and blend in best with that area, trimming it up, and I'm just going to apply it right there on that little white spot. And then I'll adhere it with my finger and then a little bit with that tool just to make sure that it sticks. And then when we come back and we trim the decal, we'll trim around it. And honestly, you can't even tell. And I am I'm really bad for some reason at lining up my decal with my nails. I can never seem to get it quite right. I seem to have these patches on the side where I just don't quite get it lined up correctly quite often. So I'm really good at the patching. A lot of times you can really hide that patchwork in the pattern of the decal. Sometimes it's a little harder than others, but honestly, you can't even tell. And I most of the time can't tell, and I know what I'm looking for. So the next step, you're going to trim your decals around the nail as close as you can. Now, if you're trimming the decal around your natural nail, you're going to want to use those curved cuticle scissors. Those are super helpful here. Be very careful, go very slow. It's very easy to nick yourself a little bit at a time, right? Take your time with it and get as close as you can um, to the edge of the nail and get as clean as you can. And then the next step is we'll file off the rest. I like to file using my hand file, and I always file in a downward motion to get the remaining decal off the edge of the nail. You can on your natural nail, it's a little harder, obviously, to file around your sidewalls and cuticles, so you can take a little acetone resistant brush to clean up those edges. A little bit of acetone goes a long way. You don't want to compromise your decal. That's why it's important to spend some time with those curved scissors and get as clean as possible. Final step that you'll take is that you will encapsulate your decal in clear dip powder. Now, it's very important when you're applying your dip base and your clear powder that you are fully covering your decal with clear powder before you activate. Cap those edges. Activator will dissolve your decal. So make sure that you're fully encapsulated it before you've activated it. You'll file and you'll buff, and then you will have a finished product. I hope that you have found this tutorial helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me in the Dip Queens group. I am happy to help you out with any of your questions and share the things that I have learned in my decal journey. Thank you so much.